Hey guys, what's up? It's MrCrayfish and welcome back to my modding tutorials. In this tutorial today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to add custom block models. I just want to remind you again that my Patreon is live, so if you guys want to get access to the source code of these modding tutorials and also be able to view the next modding tutorial before it's actually released to YouTube, you can just go ahead to my Patreon, pledge at least $1 or more per month. Then you'll get access to all these rewards here. There are some more rewards, $5 and $10, but I'm not going to go over them right now. I just want to remind you that my Patreon is live and you can go ahead and support this series to make it basically keep going as well. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead. Let's get back into this today. So what I've done is I've actually added in a new block, basically exactly the same as the one we added in the last tutorial. There's literally nothing different. We've just added a second block in. We're doing the new initialization. We've just set the unlocalized name, registry name. It's just again, pretty default model. It's just a full block. It's got nothing special to do with it. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to add a custom model to it. So what we've created here is actually a jar. And what I plan to do is make it so we can actually store the cracker items. So if we go here, we got the cracker. We want to be able to store this item here inside of that jar so we can actually, I don't know, it's just a cool thing. We want to be able to store our crackers, you know. But the first step we're going to do is actually create that custom model, which is what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do today. Now, we're not going to do any code straight away. We're going to go ahead and start creating the model. So let's go into my desktop here. And what I've done is I've gotten my model creator. If you guys don't know about it, I'll put the link in the description here. We're going to open up my model creator here. And this is a program I created about like a year and a half ago. Basically allowing you to create custom block models for Minecraft. So once you open up, you should have something like this. And yeah, you've basically got your own little plane here to build, or not to build, to kind of design your model on. This is like a 16 by 16 grid, so that represents basically the top of a tile, or the texture. So you can imagine that's like the top of a grass block. You want to scale it to keep it to that scale. So yeah, as you can see, we've kind of got our little designing pad here. This is a 16 by 16. Each square here represents a pixel on a texture, basically. But let's go ahead and let's start designing now. I'm not going to be teaching you guys how to use this program. I'll put some links in the description which will show you guys how to use it a bit more better, but I'm literally just going to be creating my model right now. So we're just going to create a new element here. Think we want to have a decent size, but I don't want it too big. Let's have a look. Oh, put that there. Still trying to figure out how to use my own program again. So that seems to be good. 8 wide. Oops. 8 by 8. Maybe a little bit bigger. A 10 by 10. That looks good. Well, I hope. Actually, nah. I'm going to go back down to 8. So we got the base of our jar, and we're going to extend that upwards. Maybe to 10 high. Seems good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to texture this. Actually, we'll do this, rename this here to glass. And then we're going to rename, well, we're going to texture it with some glass textures. So let's go ahead. I've already got them loaded up here. If you don't know how to get the assets, I can show you real quickly right now if you want to get like all the assets for Minecraft. So if you actually go to your local disk or your users, your name, which is mine's Casey, find this folder here called Gradle, go caches, Minecraft, net, Minecraft, and then 1.9.4. You'll then see inside there'll be like a Minecraft 1.9.4.jar. What you want to do is copy that, go onto your desktop or something. I'll just copy that here. Go into your desktop, rename that to a zip, and then you can open that up, and then inside here you'll find a folder called assets. Just drag that onto your desktop, then you'll be able to get access to all Minecraft's textures and item texture, block textures, all their model states and all that kind of stuff. But let's go ahead, let's add a texture in now, import, and we're going to do glass, I think white. Glass white here, click on that, click apply, and then we're going to copy that to all of the faces. Now it's pretty hard to see right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the UVs, because right now there's kind of like a weird, I don't want this, you can see this kind of darker line around the outside there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag that to the right one, then down one. We can't really see this that well, but okay, so as you can see now, it hasn't got those kind of lines going around the edge. West. I think we are all good. So as you can see, it's a bit more clearer now. This is really hard to see, even for me designing it. And now we're also going to add another element, or another cuboid I mean, and it's going to be like the lid. And then we're going to move that up. There, make it bigger. Oh no, don't do that. So there's our lid, and then we're going to texture that. I think what might be a good one to texture it with is import coal block, apply, and then copy that to all of the faces. That looks pretty good. We might actually, what we might do is with that lid there, or the glass I mean, we'll make it one less, push it up one, then we'll add another cuboid here, we'll call it base. We'll put it so it's in line, like we want to have like a little bit of a base on it. Oop. Can't see that through it. And then what we'll do is we'll color that. Oops, we've already image, coal, copy, and then shift paste all over it. See, that looks pretty cool. That's going to be our cracker jar. So once you've designed your model, it might not be like this one, it could be a little bit different. We're going to go ahead, press file, and export a JSON. What you might want to do is save project and save that to somewhere. Just in case you want to come back to it. It's a lot better to save it as the model file rather than the JSON, because it allows you to share it with people a lot easier. Then once you've done that, go ahead, click on export JSON here. Then we're just going to save this onto our desktop, and we're going to name it jar, and it will already append the JSON if it's not existing. So go ahead, press save. We can close off the program now. And then what we're going to do with this jar.json is simply override our model already that we've put there. So by default, or what I did already is if we go into our source, main, resources, assets, our mod ID, models, and then into block, I've just basically duplicated this cheese one, which if you know already is just the whole block.cube all, and then we're texturing it with all this. What we're going to do is simply just delete that, throw this jar.json in. Let's just check what this is doing, and that's pretty much it. Now we do have some properties in here to adjust the like the view when it's on like GUI, ground, fixed, third person. We're actually going to get rid of this because it doesn't actually apply. Oops. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Up to that comma there, don't get rid of that because we've got another object down here. We're going to get rid of that, save that. Then go back to your models folder, item, and then we're just going to double check if this is all good. And we need to make sure we link this here, the parent model, to that model we just created. So we got to change this now to CTM Do we have to? Okay, yep. So we would do ctm:/block/jar, and then we can get rid of this textures here because we don't have to define them at all. We're going to save that. Now we're going to go back to Eclipse, and theoretically this should be working straight away. Now we are going to run into some problems. I know we're going to run into them, but I'm going to show you guys how you can fix them up. Okay, so we've got our cracker jar, and there is some problems straight away. You'll see in the inventory here, it's kind of like flat in there. It's not really that nice. When we place it down, we've got a couple of problems here. You'll notice that we've now got a bit of an X-ray texture underneath. The glass here isn't transparent, and we've also got a large bounding box around it. So we're going to do a couple of things to fix this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into the blocks class here, so block jar. So we're going to override a couple of methods which are implemented in the superclass of block here. One of them is full cube here, and then what we're going to do is get rid of that, and what we're going to do is return false here because this is not a full cube. It's a kind of it's a custom model basically. A full cube would be like a full normal block, like a grass block. We're going to override another method is opaque cube, and then we're going to return false on that. And then the last method that we've got to override is get world, I think it's render, not render type, get block layer. And then what we're going to do is return, we're going to copy this here, paste that, dot translucent. And now if we actually go ahead and run the game, the model is now not giving that X-ray texture anymore. We can now actually see through it. It's not just a plain white. Now I do see a problem at the top of the lid here, and I think it's something to do with the actual kind of model definition, the JSON file. So we're going to take a look, and actually can't really see it that well. There we go, you can see that a bit better now. As you can see the lid there, it's not rendering the top of it, so I feel like there's a problem in the actual model file. So we're going to open that up right now, and let's have a look here, the lid. So it's good to name things like I did in the program there, lid. I know that there's something wrong with the lid, so I'm definitely going to be looking in this section here. Now I can pretty much see it straight away. Here we've actually got a negative value for the UV. There should never ever be negative values or values more than 16 in this, and I can tell you that's a problem right there. But it seems like all we have to do to fix that up is pretty much get rid of that, and then what we're going to do is change this one here, because the down here should be the same as the up as well. So we're going to put that UV to 6 and 6 there. I'm not sure why that changed, but once you've done that, we go ahead, save that, and we run the game again. And look at that, it seems to have fixed up the problem now, and that is looking pretty awesome. What we're going to do now is fix up that bounding box, because as you can see, it's basically the size of a full cube. We want to break it down and make it a little bit smaller, just so it's a bit more attractive, because when you come up to it like this, it doesn't look nice. So let's go ahead, fix that up right now. So to override the bounding box, it's quite simple. We just got to override another method. At the same time as well, we're also going to do the collision as well, because it basically, we can just do kill two birds with one stone right here. So the method that we want to override to change basically the hitbox is get bounding box. And then what we've got to do is return an axis aligned BB object. So what we're going to do is up the top here, we're going to create a private static final axis aligned BB, and then we're going to call this bounding underscore box in capitals, bounding box equals new axis aligned BB, and we're going to select this third constructor here where we have double X, X1, Y1, Z1, and then X2, Y2 and Z2. Now it's going to be difficult for me to explain what the values we're actually putting in here are, so we're actually going to visualize this. So I'm going to comment out that line. I'm going to run the game. So what we've got to do is select two 3D coordinate points relative to this jar here, which will tell us where the bottom corner of the cuboid is and then where the top one is. So basically we have to select this bottom of the jar here and then this corner at the top here. So how we can actually do that is I actually use the texture of this grass down here. Sounds weird, but basically from this point here to that side there is 1, but there's 16 pixels here, so we simply divide this 1 by 16, and that will tell us how far we have to go to actually get to this point here from this edge. Now we've actually got to be facing a special direction, so for positive X you want to be facing east, and then for positive Z you want to be facing south, and this just makes it a whole lot easier when you're actually doing a collisions here. So what we need to do here to get to this point down the bottom, well, we know that it's flat on the ground, so the Y is going to be 0. So what we're going to do is go back into our code here. So the first point is going to be 0, or for the Y there, we don't have to worry about that. And then as you can see, it's going in 4 pixels, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 pixels to there, so that is actually on the X-axis here. So that's the X-axis, positive X. So we're going to type in here, well, we got a special value we got to type in. So 1 divided by 16 equals 0.0625. So what we're going to do is simply do 0.0625 times the amount of pixels we had to go in, which was 4. Now we need to do the Z1 point. So it's going to be pretty much the same. So we're going to face in the Z direction here. To get to that point, we've simply got to go in 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's pretty much exactly the same as that. So we're going to copy that, put that there. Now we need to get the second 3D coordinate, which is this one up the top here. So we do exactly the same thing. So the Y value for that point, what we're going to do is get out a block here, place that next to it, and then we'll be able to see where this actually aligns up to. So it looks like it's aligning up to these pixels here, so we can just count how many down we got. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to add an extra one for the lid here as well, so that will be 11. So what we're going to do is copy that, pop that into our Y2 there, and then change that to 11. And then for the X2 and the Z2, so we're just going to do exactly the same thing again. So how far is it to basically this corner on the X-axis? So we know that it's 4 already. If we come down here, we got 4 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which equals 12. So we'll copy that, pop that there, change that 4 to a 12. And then for the Z, I know it's going to be exactly the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, it's going to be 12. Then there we go. And now what we're going to do with that is going to get rid of that comment. Now this is the bounding box. We might actually change this in a second here, as you'll see. So we'll copy that, and then instead of returning this super.getBounding box, we'll simply return our bounding box object up here. And then we also want to override a method called add collision box to list. We're going to put that onto one line there, get rid of that comment, and then what we need to do here inside of this method is call a static method called add collision box to list. So you should be able to go down here and see how it's got that S there. That's a static method. And then we just need to pass in some values here. So the first one is a position. It looks like it's already done it, so we want to put in that position there as the first parameter. The entity box, that one there. The colliding boxes, so that one there. And then this last one is going to be our bounding box object up the top there. pop that in, save your block class, then we're going to restart the game. Now as you can see, when we highlight over the jar now, the bounding box is now on the edges of it. Now what we're actually going to do is the collision's right, because like look, we're standing on top of the jar, right on top of the lid there. We're kind of like not walking into it, we're walking half into the block there, we're not being stopped like a full block. But the collision's good, but more visually it's better to have the hitbox, the visual hitbox here, to be kind of 1 pixel larger than it. So we're simply going to expand this out, and it's going to be quite simple. So let's head back to our code here. We can stop the game, we don't really need to go back into here anymore. We're going to copy this and put that under there. We're going to rename the second one to collision box, and then simply copy that and replace this one inside the add collision box to list method here. Replace that there with the collision box. Then we're going to be changing this one here. So we need to expand it out one, so we're simply going to take 1 pixel from the first 3D coordinate here. Then for the second one we're going to add 1, so that will be 13, that will be 12, and then that will be 13. Now if we run the game now, and it looks a whole lot nicer in my opinion. So there we go guys, that's how we do the hitboxes. Now the last thing that we've actually got to do is fix up the inventory here, because as you can see it's basically a flat block, and I think there's a little bit of a problem when we're holding it in third person here. So we'll have to fix that up right now, but it should be very simple. Now this is going to be probably an easy fix. I just had a look at the how Minecraft does it, and what it seems like we've got to do is in our jar, go to our models folder here, block jar. All we simply need to do is go here under our comment. We're simply going to type in parent, or parent, and then so under our comment here we're going to do quotations, parent, and then colon at the end there, then another quotation, and then we're going to type in block / block, and then comma at the end there. Save that, and if we run the game, there we go. Would you look at that? So there, it's fixed, it's adjusted the model. If we open it in third person, it's looking all good. Now I do notice that it does look a little small in the GUI there, but we can actually adjust that if we want to. Now again, I don't expect you guys to write this out, because I'm literally copying it. I wouldn't write it out myself either, but I'm going to put a paste bin in right now, and what you want to do is get rid of that parent thing there that we just wrote. We're actually going to write the kind of all the view, like what it looks like when it's viewed in the inventory, what it looks like when it's viewed in first person. We're going to paste this in here, and make sure you also have a comma at the bottom there, because we've still got another object, or this is an array down here. We want to make sure that it's still valid JSON, but you should paste this in here, and this is basically what was happening just then. This is the default view of like blocks. Now what we saw is that basically on first person here the scale is quite small. It's like as you can see, it's oopsie. Like it does look really small when we're holding it right now, so we're simply going to scale that up. So first person, we've got first person right hand and first person left hand. What we're going to do is scale that up to 6.6 on both right and left hand. In third person, why isn't there a third person left hand? Or maybe it counts for both, I don't know. We're going to scale that up even more. So maybe let's do 6 again. We're actually going to save that, And then what we're going to do is in game, we don't actually have to reload. What you want to do is press F3T, and what this will do is it will reload all the resources without having to restart the game. And it looks like it's actually, yeah, it's gotten bigger. That's cool. And if we go in third person here, or first person, as you can see, it's looking a bit bigger now, which is a good sign. Now we do need to probably move it up a little bit. So in third person here, we're going to translate, I think 4. Let's have a look at that. I think that's right. So F3T again. Did I translate that right? I don't think I did translate that right. Okay, so it seems like it's doing the Y. I don't know why, but it's doing the Y axis on this last value here. So we need to, I guess it makes sense. I think it's going X, Y, Z, and then the Z is doing the up and down. So we're going to do probably 2 on the end there. So if we actually reload that. Now I was testing this out just a second ago, so just ignore what it looks like right now. And that looks like a good height. That looks good. Let's get rid of this goddamn rain. It's looking all good in first person. Now let's just see what it looks like when it's dropped. That looks fine. I mean, we could scale up as well. So when it's on the ground, we might do it to 4. Here, 0.4. And then in the GUI, we're also going to scale that up as well. So I might do that to 7. That might look good. 7. So F3T again to reload. Oh, maybe a little bit bigger. 8. And then we're going to translate that up a tad. So let's do 1. I hope that's the right axis. Oh, and that looks good. So as you can see, it's nicely positioned in the inventory now. And there we have it, guys. I think that's going to be it. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. The next tutorial is going to be, unfortunately, crafting recipes. I do want to get that out of the way before we continue on to doing more advanced things. But hopefully you guys learnt how to add in a custom model today, how to add the collision and the bounding boxes, and also how to adjust the inventory in third person renders and first person and all that kind of stuff. Also guys, remember to check out my Patreon as well if you want to support this series. It's going to help me out a lot if you guys go over there, support me. It's going to keep this series going on for a long time, and I'm sure you guys would like to see that. So link is in the description if you want to check out my Patreon, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.